Welcome, everybody, to the R&R CatCast, a fan-based podcast focusing on Montana State athletics. We're two dudes named Ryan from the state of Washington talking about our dear Montana State. We hope you enjoy. All right, welcome back, Bobcat fans. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the R&R CatCast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Foley. He's your host, Ryan Thornburg. We are the Ryans of the R&R, the Montana State affiliate of the Big Sky Podcast Network. Give a shout out to our sponsor, Gear Up Sports, a youth sports platform focusing on solving the uniform and apparel headache for coaches. If you're a youth or high school coach and need uniforms or player packs, please contact them at www.gearupwithus.com and make sure to mention us, the R&R CatCast. We're on the heels of coming off the non-conference slate. We waxed Mercyhurst 52-13. We're going to break that down and preview the conference schedule as we travel down to Pocatello, Idaho to take on the Bengals, the Idaho State Bengals. Thorny, that's what we're here for. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, man. It feels good to get in the conference play. It feels good to get that OOC kind of out of the way and kind of getting the meat potatoes a little bit.
Yeah, playing week 0. It's felt like a long time.
It has.
We've been in the non-conference for quite a bit, and now it feels like it's real. Now, I don't know about you, but this morning on my run, I was like, ooh, there's a little bit different feeling in my gut knowing that we have conference play. Like, This feels a little bit more real.
Yep, now it matters a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, let's get a little bit of rundown what's going on today in the R&R CatCast. We're going to kind of have the same formula as we normally do. We'll talk about the stats top 25 where the Cats landed this week. We'll get into some news, maybe briefly. There's not much. Maybe a little blurb on conference realignment. We'll talk Coach Vegan, his presser, what he wore. Did it matter? Is he listening to us? I don't think he is. Newsflash. Still hope. I'm still hoping there. We'll get into the stats recap, and we're going to run down our preview, we'll go into a little bit about Mercyhurst, but do a little bit more on the preview side now that we're getting into the conference, and hopefully have time to answer some golden coolies. We got a couple questions on the back end.
Sounds good, man. Sounds fun.
All right. But first, let's talk about what's in our golden coolies.
What's in your golden coolie?
What's in your golden coolie is brought to you by Wilbur Ellis. Go see Shea Richter and Company up in Fort Benton for all your farming, fertilizer, supply needs, whatever you need. They got you. All right. I have the same as I had last week, the Blue Moon non-alcoholic right in my golden coolie.
So I think next Monday will be, it's the 30th next Monday. Are you going to have a beer next Monday?
Nope. Got to finish strong, man. Got to cross that finish line.
Okay. All right. I respect that. I don't have a golden coolie today, but I do have my blue Bobcat cup that is getting beat up by my wash machine. I have a growler tonight. Perry Street Oktoberfest. You're missing out, Thorny. Bready, malty, Octobery. It's lovely.
Well, I have had an Oktoberfest this month, so like I said, it's not totally sober September over here. Okay, I've snuck a few beers in. I'm doing my running club. When we run to a pub after every time, I'm having a beer during those. You know, there's certain situations that I'm like, it's okay. You know.
Yeah. Nice, man.
I've had an Oktoberfest beer and it was delicious, and I can't wait to have some more because I love my favorite style of beers.
Speaking of running club, so I have running club tomorrow, and then on Friday I'm going to head out with a couple boys, and we have what's called Hoptoberfest at Perry Street, starting on Friday, and that's where you can get like a thick Dimple Stein mug or some sort of to give out a new commemorative Stein every year. But they have like all these fresh hop ones on tap. And one thing I noticed about the fresh hops, they're really fun. I really like them. Like I really like a hop forward finish, unlike you. But man, they make you feel terrible the next day. It's just like they dry you out. Something with it. Just, you got to pace yourself with those. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to Saturday.
Just another downside of that terrible beer.
Just going to have to chug a whole bunch of water.
Eat some fried food with it. That'll help.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess we'll have to run a couple extra miles in order to make that happen. All right. Well, I guess let's talk about Bobcats because we're done talking beer. Stats, top 25. Not much has changed. Things are kind of staying the same around the top 25. South Dakota State still number one, getting 40 of the first place votes. North Dakota State, number 2, getting 5 first place votes. Still think it's interesting that Montana State, still number 3, but getting 6 first place votes. Montana State is, if I rolled down through the top 25, we're the only 4-0 program right now, that's pretty cool.
Except for number 12, Mercer.
Number 12? See? There you go.
Sorry.
First mistake of the night.
Sorry, I hate to. You're so confident. I'm like, hold on there. It's funny because I even told you before we started recording, like, there's only 2 4-0 teams. I never told you what the other one was, but I mentioned that to you because I knew it was Mercer. Because I saw that.
I saw it on a stat today too.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter
somewhere. Yeah, I'm not on Twitter anymore, but somehow I get those updates still.
But yeah,
Idaho,
lots of 1-loss teams over there for sure.
Yeah, so Idaho is number 4. They were number 4 last week as well. They got 5 first place votes. That matchup on the 19th of October is looking juicy. Wow, Montana, Idaho. That is going to be the game that you don't want to miss. I'm still planning on traveling down to Montana State, Bozeman for that one. So be happy to meet up with some people down there. Nope. I mean, I have to. I just don't think I cannot do that.
No, I wish I could. I can't make it out, but I've made arrangements that I have the night off. I'll probably go to a sports bar and settle down and watch the whole damn thing uninterrupted.
Are you going to come out for the Eastern game?
I was actually thinking about reaching out to you and inquiring about that. Maybe I will.
Yeah, stay at Casa de Foley. Let's make a plan of it.
It's in October, right? So I can have a beer.
Let's hope so. You'd be a grumpy guest if you weren't able to have a beer.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Let's see. Montana comes in at number 8. North Dakota comes in on the heels of that. I still think North Dakota should be a spot above Montana, but whatever. Sac State's number 10. They were number 11 last week, so they squeak into the top 10. UC Davis drops a spot to 14. They're 3-1. And Weber State, previously at number 20, is holding on to number 25. They had a big win, but yet they drop a couple spots right there.
Yeah, because there's a whole bunch of not ranked that came in. Wofford, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire right above them all were not ranked. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, and I still don't know what's going on with the Ivy League. They still only show that they've played one game. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, who cares about those smart?
Not even a playoff participants. I don't even know why they're in the stupid poll in the first place.
So we didn't do a instant reaction show. We just kept missing the boat yesterday. Anything stand out to you over the Big Sky over this last week?
Yeah, I mean the Grizz game was pretty interesting. Grizz continued to kind of struggle a little bit this year, even with Junior Bergen and company back. They had a really hard time putting away Western Carolina. I didn't see a lot of other results from the Big Sky. I was kind of occupied this weekend. Who does Sac State play?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have ESPN up, so it's a good question. I was just thinking about Bergen. It feels to me like probably how Grizz fans felt about Troy Anderson. They were just probably tired of hearing him after like 6 some years of listening to that name. Their whole wide receiver core are seniors. Fonts, Keelan White, Junior Bergen. All those guys are going to be gone next year. Not a year too soon, by the way.
Yeah, right. Gosh, I'm trying to pull it up and see what the results were. Oh yeah, a little bit of that Northern Arizona game. They hung with Incarnate Word, but then they kind of got away from them. Yeah, Weber State blanked Northwestern State. Weber State could be back, man. Weber State, if they can find a competent offense, their defense is doing really well. And then, yeah, Idaho almost blowing it completely against Abilene Christian. I did watch some of that game. ACU came roaring back on that one.
I was really high on Northern Arizona last week. And they just proved to be Northern Arizona this week.
Yep.
You know?
I do think that I do agree with what you said. I think they'll be able to knock off some team here and there, but they got a ways to go to put it all together on a consistent basis.
The one that surprised me was Portland State. Kind of hung with Boise State for a while. Like Boise State did not run away with that game.
Yeah.
At least at halftime it was. I mean, what was it? What's the final score of that game?
56-14.
Ooh. Yeah, well, okay.
I mean,
at half it wasn't that bad.
It was 7-7 at the end of the first. Then it was 20-7 at halftime.
Yeah, 27 at halftime. You're playing Portland State. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah,
it's not bad. Do you think Montana State could beat Boise State in 10 games?
I mean, if you give a couple of Bozeman, maybe.
How cool would that be if Boise State came to Montana State?
Yeah.
Like if we could schedule a home and home.
These are things I dream
of. A home and home with those guys, that would be so cool. That'd be so cool. Put it at night. Man, what a game. Oh, I could only dream of something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Maybe conference realignment. Who knows?
The last one, I guess, would be Eastern Washington getting crushed by Nevada. That's pretty interesting. I think Eastern's pretty bad this year.
Hey, they're playing the Grizzlies down here this week. So there's going to be a whole bunch of Missoula guys rolling through town over here in Spokane. Would that be something if the Grizz get knocked off by Eastern? I heard they hadn't won in Eastern since 2008.
They haven't won on the red turf, period.
Since 2008?
Yeah, I think the turf was installed in 10 or 9 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So they have literally not won one time on the red turf.
What happened with Ayat? Did he get hurt?
He got dinged up a little bit. And he came back in, and then I didn't watch the whole thing, and the next thing he wasn't in anymore, so I'm not sure that they eventually pulled him out because he was too shaken up. I have no idea.
I just didn't know. I hadn't watched the game. I was appearing from afar. How do you think they're handling that?
I don't know.
Two quarterback system. It just seems like they're really screwing with people's minds over there.
I think they kind of were settling on yacht. I think they kind of got dinged up a little bit, but also, I don't really want to talk about the Grizz too much right now.
Sure. All right.
I want to get moving along on this podcast. No offense, but let's keep it rolling.
All righty. All right. Well,
go listen to the Grizz fan pod if you want to hear about how they're handling two quarterback system.
Any news come out this week? Bobcat front?
The only one I can think of was Blake Stillwell had surgery and he'll miss the whole season.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's the only thing that really was noteworthy to me for Bobcat stuff.
Kind of feels like the back end, though, the safeties are kind of taking some strides. You know, Coach Vegan talked today a little bit about getting Paul Dorr back soonish. Him and Julius Davis kind of on the same timeline. So expect them to be maybe the next week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. It feels like that's always the answer, but Taden Gray had a good game against Mercyhurst.
Yep.
There's a name that you haven't heard about. Tyson Pottinger's all of a sudden kind of a, consistent vet back there. Not a guy we're just looking to take a spot. So yeah, I kind of like the back end. Tucky Yu being a guy coming, he looks just fluid and fast. Kind of like when you saw Paul Dorr last year, remember you're like, wow, where has that guy been? He's flashing. I mean, he just moves different. Taki kind of moves like that to me. So yeah. I'm kind of high on the back end right now.
I don't know if I'm quite that high on Taki, but I think he's a guy who could come in, certainly hold down for a game or two for now.
Mm-hmm.
I do really want Drew Pollard back. I think he's a big piece of the defense.
Would you take Taki over Jeff Manning?
At this stage, probably not.
Oh, I would. He's a better tackler.
Yeah, you haven't seen him do anything. You've seen him
He's
play
a better tackler.
You've seen him play some mop-up duty.
No. He's been playing consistent. He got a lot of run.
Why you gotta drag
Utah
Jeff
Tech.
Manning into this conversation?
I'm just doing him dirty.
Why is that even in your brain?
It's a good buy or sell. Buy or sell, you take Taki over Jeff Manning. I'm buying that.
I'm selling it at this stage in his career.
Most of the listeners are buying it too. Let's go. You're shaking your head.
Okay.
Dang it. All right, let's talk about what's in which coach is wearing. So play the R&R
And
sound.
now, Bobcat fans, it's time for F&F Fashion Watch, brought to you by Foley and Fisher, the only two that seem to really care what Brent Vegan is wearing at his press conference.
Coach Vegan donned a charcoal suit, a black and blue paisley tie with a white press shirt. No pocket square.
Doesn't sound very Bobcat colory. You told me you always incorporate some sort of Bobcat color.
Yeah, he kind of went rogue on us this week a little bit. I tuned in. I was like, no pattern on the suit. It was just a flat charcoal, kind of a matte finish. The tie really threw me off too because you can never get a great look at it. It looked like paisley from afar, just black and blue. Yeah, it just wasn't his best fit. In the overcoat was kind of sloppy. Like it could have been tailored in the arms a little bit. Had a little extra room in the shoulders. He's a broad shoulder guy. Could have been tailored just a little bit.
Well, maybe it's just business-like time now. Conference plays here.
It was. When you listen to the presser, he had a little bit of Choate-esque in him in the manner that Jeff Choate used to go on for about a good 10 minutes before anybody got a word in. And Coach Vegan today just laid it out there. He went into Idaho State. He was talking players. He was talking positions. And he laid it out, just kind of painted a picture about the upcoming opponent that he normally never does. He normally spends a little bit more time talking about the previous game, kind of glosses over that unless the questions come from Victor and Coulter and company. But he took a different tack today, and I just thought that was like a sign of, hey guys, we're in conference play. It just felt a little bit more formal, a little bit more pointed.
I'll admit to not listening to like a ton of Brent Vegan podcasts, but I thought that I had the same thought with listening to the one today. It was like, this is very Chody. He just came in and just started just talking like 5 straight minutes.
Yeah,
it was entertaining. I enjoyed it.
Diatribe, a deep monologue on Pocatello and Idaho State,
Yeah.
which I thought, it was pretty cool. It is interesting to me. One of the things that jumped out was none of the guys have played in Pocatello who's on the team right now.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. 'Cause I guess it's been, since 2018? They were there? It's crazy.
We lost that game. And then we went to win 4 games after that. But that was a low point. That was actually a turning point, an inflection point for the program.
Well, yeah, I think, was it Tom Stuber on Twitter had a stat that the Bobcats have lost like 8 games since that loss. It's like 4 times to North Dakota State, twice to the Grizz, and like twice to South Dakota State or something like that. There's maybe one more in there. It was like 9 games or something. And it's pretty crazy.
I'm pretty sure Tomcat wakes up every Monday, Tuesday, and just like starts combing through stats going, what can I pull out this week? Because he's so good.
It is.
With those.
He's a good follow. If you're not following Tom Stuber or Tomcat, I don't know what his handle is on Twitter, but just look up Tom Stuber. You can find him.
Yeah. He was a guest podcast on this show last year when you were gone and overseas.
That's right.
He did it. He did a solid job. So
that's right.
Always welcome back, Tom. Another thing, couple things that came out from that. He said Tommy was designed. He has under 25 carries. If I told you in 4 games, Tommy Malott would have under 25 carries, would you believe that?
I'd believe that they finally did what they were saying that they were going to do. Yeah, but no, I'm not sure I would have believed it.
He said that it was very intentional in the non-conference to limit his carries. that kind of just like, oh yeah, he hasn't carried the ball all that much.
So
He
you think
talked
he'll get
about,
more carries then? Because he did say that was by design in non-conference, is the indication then that there's going to be more Tommy running the ball in conference.
I think when it's in conference, it's just like no holds bar.
Got to do what you got to
Like
do
you
to
got to
win the
do
game.
whatever you got to do. Yeah, you just got to win the game. So backs against the wall. We're not trying to just feed Tommy as a passer. Just let Tommy be Tommy, because we're at that point. Like, let's just go. Like, it's all on the line right now. He talked a little bit about ISU having a balanced passing attack, averaging about 280 yards of passing and 140 yards of rushing. He talked, highly of Cody Hawkins and his dad, Dan Hawkins, and how Idaho State has pretty much had 3 coaches since the time in, last number of years. And so there's just been a little bit of turnover, but that the guys are really responding to Coach Hawkins and playing with a lot of energy for him. And to be honest, that's what I see when I look at the guys. I've always kind of silently rooted for the Bengals because they're just the underdog all the time. And when I tune into them, Thorny, they look like a team that just slings it around and they don't give a care. Like, they're just like, whatever. We're just going to go after this. Nobody believes in us. I've always thought that if Idaho State just takes the us versus the world mentality, and if Coach Hawkins is like, I think, just kind of breeding that in them, they're a dangerous team.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel that way about Idaho State a lot. Like you said, NAU is just going to be NAU. So, I mean, Idaho State's just Idaho State until they prove otherwise.
Yeah. Another interesting fact that their main guy, Kobe Tracy, their quarterback, their main quarterback, they've been playing, like Hunter Hayes has been getting there's a name you will be familiar with, but Kobe Tracy is their main quarterback. He actually played against the Bobcats last year for Utah Tech when Utah Tech came to Bozeman.
It's a small
in the second half.
Western division of football. I feel like a lot of players just bounce around the like FCS schools in the West.
Yeah. Are you excited about getting like the COVID seniors out of the picture?
Yeah.
COVID year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am too. Yeah, I'm excited. Just, I don't know. It's been kind of cool in a way. Like, all right, he's got a COVID year. So you, like your favorite players or players you like, you get them for another year. And it's been kind of fun, I guess. But turning back to the kind of the normal way things were supposed to go. And then plus, the 4-year redshirt rules, you have guys that feel like they've been in your program forever and in the league forever, play 4 games, take a COVID year. That's 2 years and 4 games, and they're still freshmen. So it's kind of crazy.
Get a redshirt year, all of a sudden you're playing 7 years of college football.
Van Wilder.
9 years. Like the guy in Miami. All right. Let's get into the stats, Thorny.
Shoot, that was a hard pivot. I'm not even ready.
Oh, yeah? Anything else from the presser you want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
My notes.
I'm good. All right. Stats. Bobcats win 52-13 over Mercyhurst Lakers of Erie, Pennsylvania. Bobcats finished with 23 first downs on 4 of 6. Third down efficiency, 502 yards, 246 through the air, and 256 on the ground, where Mercyhurst just 16 first downs. But they were 6 for 18 on third down, 4 for 7 on fourth down. I don't remember them going for it 7 times on a fourth down. It's just not
a bad percentage for us.
Ringing a bell. Yeah, I was actually checking the national stats for the Bobcats today, and we're like pretty bad at fourth down efficiency and fourth down efficiency defense. So we're bad at picking them up, and we're bad at stopping them. Other than that, the stats were like pretty high level for most everything, but that one kind of stood out. Mercyhurst did get 233 yards through the air. I'm sorry, 233 total yards, 213 through the air on 28 of 44 passing for just 4.8 yards per pass. And they, this isn't including sacks. This ESPN includes sacks in your rushing total, but they ran the ball 29 times for 20 yards, which is 0.7 yards per carry. Didn't do much on the ground. They had 4 penalties for 20 yards. The Cats had 4 penalties for 44 yards and the 1 turnover, which is a fumble, which is not ringing a bell to me right now. What's the fumble?
Jared White.
That's right, Jared. Yeah, he got stripped. That's right. As another strip sack. So that's the third time the Bobcats
Scoop
have
six.
scoop six against yes, obviously Jared White wasn't
It's the
sacked.
weirdest thing, right?
Yeah, it's and then we've won every game. It's kind of a weird stat. And then I guess to get to the team stats real quick here for the Cats too. 15 to 19 throwing the ball for 12.9 yards per throw, and 37 attempts for 256 yards, which is kind of a pedestrian day in Bobcat land for 6.9 yards per carry, which is still fantastic. That's a fantastic number. 6.9 yards a carry is going to get you a lot of wins. And Mercyhurst possessed the ball for 32 minutes and 56 seconds, and the Bobcats just about 27 minutes.
Mercyhurst punted the ball 5 times for 176 yards. We punted it 1 for 57 yards.
Nice job, Brandon.
Yeah. Brendan Hall had 9 kickoffs for 585 yards with 8 touchbacks.
He's so close to kicking into the student section.
8 touchbacks.
I want him to do
with
it.
9 kickoffs. I was like, did we miss one? So come on. Red zone, we were 5 for 5. They were 1 for 3. We had 6 sacks for 32 yards. That's a stat. And we were 1 for 1 on field goals. Let's see. Some individual stats. Tommy Malott, he passed 14 for 18 for 214 yards with 3 touchdowns. A very good day for Tommy Malott. Very efficient day. He's one of the top efficiency quarterbacks in the nation.
Number 11.
He only had 2 carries for 13 yards. That's so weird when I'm writing down these stats on the Sunday night and I only see 2 carries for 13 yards for Tommy Malott. It's just, for so many years, that stat line has been 12 for 120 or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it just like, am I seeing that right? it just blows my mind. And then to see Colson Kuhn, the top leading rusher for the Cats, 10 carries for 102 yards with a touchdown. It was just kind of a weird day. In general, you know, going back to the rushing stats, this was the first time, bringing it back to the Grizz, that the Grizz outrushed us in recent memory. We had 256 yards. Mercyhurst held us under 300 yards of rushing. Could we have that? Of course we could. We could have. The Grizz had 349 yards of rushing. Man, that's, I don't know. That was not something that made me happy.
Well, I got into a shootout.
Yeah, when we did the good, the bad, and the ugly, or the good, the okay, and the bad that we never actually put out, that was in my bad, interestingly enough. Scottree had 12 carries for 77 yards and a touchdown. Adam Jones, 5 carries for 24. And then he had a reception, 3 receptions for 71 yards, 1 touchdown, a long of 50, where he just made the play. He kept the wheel route going. Tommy scrambled, found him. That was a beautiful pass play. And then it was all Adam Jones. By the way, Adam Jones, I think non-conference MVP for me. I think that guy's he's just going to be the dude for the next 4 years. And I love that. Ty McCullough, he only had 1 catch for 6 yards, but he had a end around, a fly sweep, 1 for 35, 1 touch and 35 yards. I can't imagine Montana State's not going to try to get him the ball more. I would be shocked if Montana State doesn't have more of a progressive offense in the non-conference. Taco Dowler had 2 catches for 13. He had a touchdown. It's good to see that. That was a tough catch, too. A nice pass from Tommy. Rohan Jones, 2 catches for 21 yards and a touchdown. On the flip side, on the defense, Bryce Grebe led with 8 total tackles, 3 solo, 1.5 tackles for a loss and a sack. His brother, Brody Grebe, your defensive preseason MVP, had 5 total, 5 solo, 3 sacks, 1 tackle for a loss, or 1 forced fumble. Oh, Bryce Grebe also had a forced fumble, so the Grebes both had a forced fumble. And then Tatum Gray, a safety, had 2 solo, 4 tackles, and 1 sack for a minus 12 yards. There are your stats.
I think Tom Stuber said it was like the 3rd time since like the Jeff Choate era the Cats did not rush for 100 yards in the first half.
Serious? We did not rush for 100 yards in the first half?
No, we had 93 in the first half.
Wow.
For just 4.4 yards per carry. It was kind of a weird game.
It was.
I knew coming off the main game, it was going to be like, we're not going to rush for 70-yard touchdown runs over and over. Like, I knew that wasn't going to happen. Like, but I wasn't quite expecting to be so drastically different. I thought Mercyhurst played pretty solid defense. They were a lot more gap sound than Maine was anyway. And that it didn't feel like we were blowing them off the ball. I don't know if that was kind of maybe just reshuffling the offensive line once again caused a little bit of a resetting of the continuity, and they got to kind of get that back a little bit. I don't know. I didn't really feel like we blew Mercyhurst off the ball all that much, and they were kind of waiting for the backs to come through. I thought they did a pretty decent job of containing the run game, at least in the first half.
They tackled well as well.
Yeah.
Who was it? Somebody gave a post-game presser. It might have been... It's one of our offensive linemen. Blake Mastel. I think it was.
Berkman.
He said they were giving the defense was giving them quite a few different looks that was confusing them. Maybe Colsane was not picking up that and calling the correct calls, but I mean, Mercyhurst, I kept thinking, I was like, man, we're just going to have an explosive play. It never happened.
No, it never really did.
Yeah, just good tackling on them. And like you said, they had good gap sound. It's just odd. Was it them or was it us? Or is it a both?
We only had 6 plays of over 15 yards.
That's weird.
And one of them was Chance Wilson.
They are.
Yeah, one of them was Chance Wilson's pass too.
Chance Wilson only had 1 pass.
I'm sorry, those are passing plays of 15 plus yards. And we also had 6 more rushing the ball. But, then it's like Colton Kuhn, Jared White, Colton Kuhn. So a lot of, I don't know. Yeah, the first team offense just didn't really blow the doors off the place, but it was 31-0 at halftime. So it's not like it was any question who was going to win the game or anything like that. Mercyhurst had like -7 rushing yards at halftime. I'm sorry, -9. -9. 13 rushes for -9 yards. I don't know. It was a weird day offensively. We just, like you said, it kept waiting for us to do something big, and it just never really happened. But didn't need to happen, but I don't know. It could be just kind of a one last, we don't need to show much, we don't need to do much. We'll just kind of run our basic stuff and just get out of here injury free and move on till the conference. I don't know.
I think there's a little bit of that in there. I think Tommy also is not great on the deep ball right now. He's underthrowing him a lot. We had a pass, I think it was a Ryan King. Was that right? Where we get some like pass interference, but Tommy hits that in stride. That's easy. That's easy to score right there. I feel like he missed another one too.
There's one down the sideline where a guy made almost a crazy catch, like on the back of the jersey of the defender. But not a great throw by Tommy. Good coverage, but still didn't put it out there far enough to make his guy to make a play.
Yeah. Excited to see what we can do down in Pokey. What do you think about our offense right now?
Well,
it's kind of like boom or bust a little bit.
Tommy was 14-18 for 214 yards and 3 touchdowns for a 232.6 rating. I thought this is one of Tommy looked good in the pocket. I think his pocket presence is really coming along.
Yeah.
He's not as jumpy. He's not as panicky looking. And he's actually getting more awareness of not just getting crushed for strip sacks. So, I don't know. The offense, I think the offense is really good. I think it's probably our most balanced offense I think I've seen probably since Jeff Joe, probably since Rob Ash.
Ooh, all right. I think it just dawned on me what I'm missing right now is Sean Chambers came in and he would just be electric. Like he would have these deep passing plays, or he was just so good at passing the ball and just having these chunk plays. And we just haven't seen that this year. And kind of miss it. I kind of miss Sean Chambers a little bit. I miss having a quarterback who could sling it around.
Chambers definitely threw, I think, probably an overall better deep ball. And it just hasn't happened with Tommy this year. I think he's doing a lot better on his medium passes. Like if it's 3rd and 8, I actually have decent confidence that Tommy can complete that pass now. That's not been the case. But he's not taking the top off the defense.
No.
We're not trying a lot, though, either. We're not trying a lot. But this kind of offense is predicated on being able to hit it when you try it, and he's not hitting him.
I wonder if you go forward with Montana State's offense, we still have this prolific rushing attack. Do you recruit a guy like Jeff Undercuffler, a guy who could just sling it around and say, "Okay, we're gonna let you hand off the ball because that's what we do good. We're gonna run the damn ball, but we also want you to just sling it, like just be able to just slice and dice." Would that work for Montana State, or do we need a guy who can run the dual threat?
Who's going to come here and be a backup gun, like a part-time gunslinger?
But see, that's what I want to say. Like that's a good question in my brain. It's like, are we just beholden to like Chance Wilson? Chance Wilson, we see come in, he's looking good, but he looks a lot like kind of a young Tommy, a guy who's like kind of raw, who can throw it here and there, but has that fast twitch, and you're like, okay, that looks like Bobcat offense because since Jeff Choate, that's kind of what we've had. But my counterpoint is this. Can we just hand it off to the guys who run the ball anyways, the running backs, because we're damn good at that? And can we also have the guy who can just sling it around as well? Like, I think that's a better option for me than trying to say, hey, we need a running quarterback who can pass second. And not a guy who's just like, a Jack Rolovich back there who's just like, has cement in his boots. But a dude who, like a Dakota Prukop, in a lack of a better term. A guy who can just sling it. Can make a read, make it 2 reads, and put it in window.
Are you talking? Are you advocating for a 2-quarterback system again?
No, I'm advocating for a quarterback who can sling it.
So you're saying
zip it.
So not
who
to come
can
in,
spin it.
not to come in, not to come in as for a Sean Chambers role. To come in and be the guy.
I want a guy that can zip it over the middle, can zip it down.
You're not answering my question. Is it a full-time starter, or is he?
Yes.
Okay.
Full-time starter.
That's all I was really asking. No, dude, I would love if Montana State had a guy who could throw the ball over the field. We haven't had that since Dakota Prukop.
Would you take that in lieu of a guy who can scramble, kind of like Tommy?
I think the intangibles are the most important thing. And
answer my question.
I'd rather have Tommy a lot than Dakota Prukop.
Wow.
Because I feel like Tommy's a winner and Prukop didn't handle pressure real well.
Like hard pressed, you're taking Tommy over Prukop?
Yeah, probably. I think Prukop would be elite in this offense, though. Absolutely ridiculous.
I think I know this answer. McGee over Malott?
Yeah. McGee over every Bobcat quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
Really? Even over Lule?
Probably, yeah. That's a tough one, though. It's a tough one.
Wow. Yeah. All right. We're getting off.
Yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
I don't know. I'm just fantasizing about
Dakota Prukop and Travis Lule and Jeffrey Manning. Where's your head at?
Okay, let's get back on track. Mercyhurst.
Sean Chambers, yeah. Look at you just bringing up all these former players this episode.
So I did talk a little bit about Chance Wilson.
There you go.
But I want to talk a little bit about the play that happened in I think the second drive where we were like right by the goal, the time when we had to go for the field goal. And I think Rohan Jones took a handoff and got blown up. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I like the play call.
Did you? It looked awkward to me. Like, it seems like one of those plays where like we didn't practice that enough and then exposed right there.
Well, yeah, I think somebody missed an assignment on the offensive line or something. It's obviously not supposed to happen like that, but I love little tight end halfback, like quick handoffs like that.
Tell me a little bit more about the reshuffling of the offensive line. Did JT Reed get back in the game?
I don't know who ended up getting in the game.
Blake Mastel
Burke
got
Mastel.
Burke.
He ended
Burke
up
got
at
back
left
into the game.
guard. So then Connor Moore kicked back out to left tackle. And I think the right side was the same.
I kind of liked what we were doing. I liked him kind of more at guard.
Yeah, but Vigan said that was the plan all along to get him back out to tackle.
Okay, fair enough.
So I mean, better now than next week. Get kind of the reshuffled line back together for a game like Mercyhurst. So then you have like your practice game before you get into the conference. But yeah, it was working. It was hard to kind of let it go. But I think Connor Moore is probably better at that tackle. I mean, I thought the pass protection was better against Mercyhurst. And that could be more Mercyhurst being just not good. But I thought the pass protection was probably the best I've seen. Best it's looked this season. I'd have to go rewatch it maybe a little bit, but I don't know. I didn't feel like Tommy was running for his life. I feel like he was kind of at like New Mexico and some of their games.
All right. Shift gears to you. Let's talk a little bit about defense.
Yeah,
I wanted
to ask you. You asked me, what do I think of the offense? How good is the offense? I wanted to ask you, how good is the defense? Kick it back to you.
Better than last year. I don't think we've shown anything exotic. I think that's by design. I think that we're saving something up the sleeve for conference play.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, maybe. I hope not. We talked about that earlier.
We are who we are.
I think between, like, if I was the offensive coordinator planning against Montana State's offense or defense, I would do exactly what Mercyhurst did, but with better players. 44 passes and dink and dive 4.8 yards down the field. Our first string defense is killing it. So I don't know if that's going to work against us, but if you get us into a second half where we've blown you away, you might have a chance of catching back up, because Coach Vigan doesn't keep the foot on the gas, apparently. He just calls off the dogs second half and says, okay, second string, you're in. And Mercyhurst had drives of 18 plays, a 9.5-minute drive against us, 18 plays. They completed a 4th down and 19 against us.
I forgot about that. That was...
Bryce Greavy, get some depth. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Come on.
I remember texting about that. I'm like, nah, 4th and 19. Come on, bro.
But in the last couple of years, and people are going to know this to be true, the Achilles heel for the Montana State Bobcats is the short pass. And I don't know if it's our guys bailing or whatnot. I've reached out to a couple guys and I haven't got a response yet, but the quick outs, the quick slants, it's just that get them into 3rd and short or 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5. Drives me nuts. Do we not have a guy that plays underneath? How many quick slants did they drag across the middle of the field and hit behind our linebackers or in front of our linebackers? Or we had Bryce Greavy out there alone on an island trying to cover their slot receiver. Turns out Bryce Greavy's not that fast. He's not going to be able to cover a slot receiver. He's not Troy Anderson. So what are we doing about that? I have no clue. I'm not smart enough to see. It gets me a little bit frustrated.
I mean, it's hard to get a defense that shuts everything down. And that seems to be what the staff is comfortable giving up, I guess. They'd rather be dink and ducked down the field than ran on or taken over the top. Now, obviously, a perfect world,
Idaho
you want to
beat us, though.
Yeah, no one's done it yet this year. The only team that really did that to beat us was Idaho.
And who are we trying to compete against for this top seed? Your Idahos, your Montanas.
Yeah.
We're good enough. To get by the Mercyhurst, the Idaho States, hopefully, right? I mean, we'll see all this stuff.
See.
But gosh dang it. It's just a little bit frustrating to me that we don't have faster linebackers or some sort of scheme that prevents the route I always want us to run. I guess maybe that's part of it too. Is like I look at the routes being completed against us. I'm like, why can't we do that? Why can't we drag a slot receiver over the middle, hit them for 5 to 10 yards?
Yeah, what do teams do that we don't do to defend it, or we just don't try it? It's just not
It
even
just drives me nuts.
not even the
For
playbook.
years.
I know it is frustrating. I'm not going to argue that it's not frustrating. I don't know how big of a deal it is yet.
Yeah.
Because New Mexico was doing it very effectively, but in the second half we kind of clamped it down a little bit. But Dampier was a really good quarterback, I think, from New Mexico.
Yeah.
And all the other teams haven't really had that same success, but they've also been much lesser talent than the Bobcats. So it's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Another point on our defense is the lack of turnovers. That is concerning to me. I think we're -3 right now this year in turnovers.
That one's not as
We've had some
concerning
bad
to me,
hops.
but I don't like it though.
Like Bryce Grebe, as much as I was just dogging on him, really just jacked the ball out of their QB's hands. Last weekend, bounced right to the Mercyhurst guy. You're like, you can't help that. It just feels bad because I think most of our turnovers, you're like, crap, we just gave up another scoop 6. Like, when did we get one of those? Like, apparently never.
Yeah, the lack of interceptions is what's really kind of, because is that hand in hand with not being able to cover some of those dragouts? Are we just not aggressive in the secondary? And we're not going to get picked. We're not going to get interceptions because of it. We're just not. We're going to play like a don't let anything get by us defense all year long.
Hope not. Thorny, I'm choosing to believe we've just kind of played it base until now. I think Coach Daly has some plans. I know that.
Well, I think Drew Pollard changes things when he comes back too. You move some guys around and have that aggressive. He's more of a ball hawk, but he's also a guy who can come and crush you. So he's a big force back there. So I think I'll wait to see when Drew comes back if that changes anything too. But maybe you're right. Maybe the play calling looks a little bit different come conference.
All right. I'm good on Mercyhurst. Do you want to talk Idaho State?
Yeah, you already did a little bit earlier, so I don't know what else we really need to talk too much about. I guess we can kind of run down their season to date. Probably something that would be worthwhile to talk about. They started off the year at Oregon State, lost 38-15, which is relatively respectable score. I think it was they were winning 9-7 at the end of the first quarter, and it was 17-9 Oregon State at halftime, which is a fair amount better than the Bobcats fared against Oregon State. The game that you and I went to, we got just murdered in that game.
Is that the last game you and I went to together?
Gosh, it might be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
That's a great one to go to.
Had fun at the Deschutes Brewing Company. At least that was a positive from that.
That was fun. Yeah.
Weekend.
And then they came back home and played Western Oregon and won that game 50-10. And then they went.
Western Oregon's is a Division II school, right?
Yeah. Yep. And then they went on the road to play North Dakota, who beat the Grizzlies and lost that game 52-28. And North Dakota's ranked number 9 or something like that. So that game was over real fast. I think that was a really nasty game. They had like a pick 6. It was 38-7 at halftime. 38-0, I think. Yeah, 38-0. Right before half, and Idaho State scored a touchdown pass with 17 seconds left to get on the board. So that was an ugly game. And and then they came back at home and beat Southern Utah 38-28, which is a solid little win. Southern Utah beat UTEP, which who knows what that means, but it's a better win than Western Oregon for Idaho State. So they're 2-0 at home and 0-2 on the road, and they're playing the Bobcats at home, which is none of the players or anybody except for like Coach Vigan said, Bobby Daly and Jody Owens both played there. Other than that, no one's really familiar with the arena. So I don't think there could be some weird things that happen over there in Pocatello. Unfortunately,
yeah, I'm not expecting a blowout win. I'm
No.
expecting a hold on to your butts kind of moment, kind of game. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be more uncomfortable for a longer period of time than Bobcat fans might want. in this one.
Hopefully, it's not a full cardiac cats game.
No, I don't. I don't think it'll get to that point, but you never know, man.
Yeah, it's a weird place to play. It's a weird place to play.
But
I remember watching Lule and Jefferson tear it up over in Pocatello. What was Jefferson's first name?
well, Michael Jefferson.
Michael Jefferson. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a game over in Pocatello.
Well, Idaho State is second to last in the Big Sky in rushing yards given up per game, and ninth in yards per carry given up, and they've given up 11 touchdowns on the ground. But
Coach Vegan did talk about a little bit that the last two opponents they played were run first teams, so they would have some good tape to look on that. So that's a plus for us.
and they apparently didn't do a real good job of stopping it. Of course, Southern Utah. What were the stats in this game? Just real quick. If the last two teams were run heavy, one of them would be Southern Utah. Southern Utah ran 43 times for 218 yards and 5.1 yards per carry. That's a pretty decent outing. Idaho State rushed the ball 33 times for 262 yards for 7.9 yards per carry against Southern Utah. So not just an air raid team.
Yeah. That's what Coach Vegan was talking about.
Pretty balanced. 28 passing attempts, 33 rushes. That's pretty balanced.
Idaho State has the opportunity to play the upset role. They know they're supposed to lose this game. Number 3 team coming in the nation, coming to their house. I mean, put that up on the scoreboard, in their locker rooms, anywhere. That's just fuel to the fire. Montana State, on the other hand, is a team expected to dominate this game, to win this game going away. I think Montana State does that in a convincing fashion. That's going to show a big sign to me that Montana State's for real. I don't think Montana State's not for real. I think we're a really good team.
I'm not sure anybody across the country is sitting here thinking like, man, if the Bobcats can just get past Idaho State, I'll start believing in them.
Yeah, no.
I know what you're saying, but I'm not sure even Idaho State makes me think the Bobcats are... My opinion doesn't change if we blow the Bengals out or of what I really thought the Bobcats were.
It does for me. I think it affirms this version of the Bobcats to me a little bit.
Affirms,
we
maybe.
Struggle. If we struggle, it kind of just continues to chip at the narrative that maybe I don't really trust Coach Vegan all that much. You know, the way he prepares teams for these games. I'm not sure. There's a lot I really like about Coach Vegan. The killer instinct is something I'm not sold on. I still am not sold on. I've seen it once in a while, but I haven't seen it consistently. I'd like to see the Cats have a killer instinct in this game.
Fair enough. Can't really argue with that. Did you say that Idaho State runs kind of a 3-3-5?
Yeah. Which apparently there's a couple different versions of the 3-3-5, or Coach Vegan was saying everybody has their own flavor of it. Is this a defense like in vogue right now? Is that what I'm kind of catching on?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe it was just more common than we thought.
Could be it.
But I don't know. We historically done pretty decent against the 3-3-5. I think New Mexico ran a variant of it and ran the ball all over the place.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm going to read you a question.
Okay.
Sprinkle Golden Coolie question in here. Let's see. Let's see. This is an easy one. Or maybe not. I don't know. It's Judith Basin Cat, who apparently only has 37 posts. That's crazy. I feel like I've known that name before. Of all the new beers you have tried for the show, which has been your favorite?
Man, that'd be a hard question to answer.
Not for me. It's one of my recent ones, the Octo IPA from Narrows Brewing over in Tacoma. Judith Basin Cat. That was legit. If you can get your hands on it, I don't know where you're at. Judith Basin, apparently, probably can't. It's delicious.
Man, what if I've had so many new beers on the show, but What have I gone and purchased again? One of the ones I really enjoyed, I'll just use this one because I can't think of a better example, is somebody recommended to us, what was it? Like it was a Younglings double chocolate stout or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really good. And I've actually had that again. So I might have to put that one at the top of my list. I'm not sure if anything off the top of my head that was better than that. But I was like, yeah, that was good. I want to go get that again.
Okay, I'm going to ask this, but I'm not going to spend much time talking about this because we field this question, I think, every season. Blue and Gold Blitz says, would you rather fight one Marcus Ware size Jace McMillan?
Who?
Or
Jace
one?
McMillan?
Yeah. One Marcus Ware size Jace McMillan or 3 Jace McMillan size Marcus Wares. I'm always going against the one. Like, I mean, that's how you lose in a fight is numbers. So, most commonly, you just no. All right, don't even answer, Thorny.
No, I'm gonna agree with the numbers thing.
Yeah. CNC Cat, who I'm going to get beers with, he's coming to Boise, or excuse me, to Spokane. I don't know why I just said Boise because I was looking at something that said Boise. He's coming to, we're going to have beers over here in Spokane. CNC, shout out to you, brother. He says, what would your sack celebration be? I know mine.
All right, you go first.
Okay. You go first.
Well, yeah, you've been reading this stuff. This is the first time hearing this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You can peruse Bobcat Nation. I know you're on there, Celtic Cat. I'm going home run swing to salute. That is mine. So it looks like this, Thorny. Home run to like looking at the ball and then saluting it as I go past. So there it is.
Okay. I got this like hillbilly type dance I do where I like kick my legs out to the side and I pump my fist down in the middle at the same time, like one leg right, like a big piece of straw in my mouth or something like that.
That's like right. The Cotton Eye Joe dance?
Is that what that is? I have no idea. I'll do that one.
Okay.
Or I'd like roll on the ground like I'm rolling down a hill like a little kid. Like just like roll around like a big fat guy. I think that'd be pretty funny. You just roll with your arms.
The fat kid roll.
Yeah. Like, rolling down a hill. just do a few rolls. Do a few barrel rolls.
What would you do, CNC Cat? We'll talk about it over some beers, apparently. All right. I did not expect the fat kid roll to come out. All right, there you go. CNC also says, he goes, is the low number of turnovers that the defense is creating a point of concern, or is it more of a statistical anomaly? What do you think?
Right now, my mind is still leaning towards an anomaly. I'm hoping that's true.
Okay.
I know you're more concerned.
Yeah.
And that's fair. It's fair to be concerned, I think.
Another one from Liquid 360. I'm not sure you saw this. He said, Coach Vegan's response to Keenan's question during Cat Chat about realignment had an interesting vibe. If the move did happen, then does his salary and the staffs go up as well? Do they stay? If it does not happen, does Coach stay with the program, or do you feel he will be out on the door with this shakeup?
We've talked about Vegan being gone. He just doesn't strike me as a guy who's going to leave for a bigger job right away. Maybe he will. Like if someone offered him like $2 million, $3 million, like be kind of stupid not to do it, right? But I don't know. And yeah, obviously, if the Cats go FBS, then everyone's got to get paid more. I think we'd be pretty low on the scales to start, like the worst paid coaches in the conference to start with, but would be my guess. But yeah, the salary's gonna have to improve.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't know how long we have Coach Vegan. I think about this a lot, actually. A fear of mine is he is a better version of Rob Ash. Like, he can win a lot of games, but when it comes down to the big time games, we still lose.
I feel it's been less and less the case in the last few years, though.
Yeah.
We've had some big time wins. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I think, I mean, being a Bobcat fan for so long, it kind of comes down to this for me. I just want to be tough. Like, I want to be tough and I want to be good. I feel like we're good, but I don't know if we're tough. I want to be scrappy. That's what I really liked about Choate. And I don't want to bring this back to Choate, but I guess that's just how I feel as a Bobcat fan. Like, I just want to be tough and I want to be good. And I think Montana State's in a place right now where if we stay in the FCS, if we stay status quo, we're going to be good. But I just want to be kind of nasty, man. I just want to be kind of dominant. I don't want to be the nice guys out there. I want my Cats to be the place where it's okay to be a little bit chippy in life. Because everywhere else in my life, I have to hold my P's and Q's, be the good teacher, be the good husband. And I want my outlet for a little bit of aggression to be my Bobcats. I want them
the
to be.
Bobcats are plenty aggressive and chippy.
Yeah, I want it more though. I want it from my head coach. I think that's what I'm kind of like realizing. I want Coach Vegan to come out, and we see it like in snips because we get the behind the scenes with our awesome video guys that do the stuff that's on Twitter and whatnot, and we see him get fired up. But man, I'd pay like 10, 15, 20 bucks to see him fired up at a Monday morning presser, just being like, I'm tired of this crap. Let's go. Like, we are not taking any prisoners. I want that attitude. I hope he delivers that. He seems like a very calculated guy and like a really well-spoken guy and a really good head coach. I was listening to Jeff Choate 2-3 weeks ago. He was talking he's like, we preach to our team that we want them to get in your face up until they get a flag. He's like, we want them to be the most aggressive, abrasive type player up until they get the flag. We want to be the top dog.
Number
I want
one,
that from Montana
nobody
State.
likes that team.
I don't care.
You get a reputation for being a dirty team, and I don't want to be known as the dirty team. I don't want to be the Idaho State of the 2000s that everyone just thought was the dirtiest team ever. I don't like that kind of team. I don't want to be that kind of team. And you just need to get over the ex-girlfriend, man.
No.
You're still listening to Jeff Pro. Why? Why is Bobcat Nation still doing this? I have not listened to a single second of Jeff Choate. I don't care.
It's not that.
It is
it's
that.
Just, I don't know.
Why else would you be listening to Jeff Choate, a head coach in Nevada? Because you like him.
Yeah, I always have. I don't think there's anything wrong in saying that either.
No,
it's not like you have to like force yourself to move on to like something you don't like. It's not saying I don't like Coach Vegan. They're just different, and I just prefer.
I like comparing them in your head. Like you're always gonna be doing this.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. I like a lot of the tact. I think I like a lot. I know I like a lot of the tact Coach Vegan brings, but there's a certain element of toughness that I really liked from Jeff Choate. And it's that perfect coach that you'll never have, because what Coach Choate had or lacked, Coach Vegan has. And what Coach Vegan has, I think there's a little bit he lacks that Coach Choate brought to the program. It's the same thing when the Cat Grizz rolls around, we all watch that stupid, not stupid, it's an amazing video. What was it called? Miracle Missoula. And we pause it when he gives that fiery speech, when the curtains are pulled back and he talks about those MFers over the hill. And you're like, hair on your arm stands up. You're like, that's not fake, man. And this speaks to me for some reason. I like my leadership like that. That's who I am.
Yeah.
That's Ryan Foley.
All right.
Not to say I like bullies. I don't like bullies. I just like being able to handle them. I don't know. So, good conversation.
Yeah.
So,
Wasn't expect the podcast to turn that direction here tonight.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
not
where
sure
we're
where
at.
to go. Are we done with Idaho State then? It sounds
yeah,
like.
I think so. All the Golden Coolie questions are good. I think CNC Cat asked some good ones. I'm gonna see CNC Cat in a little bit, so I'm gonna give him the Golden Coolies. I'll bring him some swag. So nice job on asking those questions, buddy.
Yeah, I liked trying to figure out what kind of celebration dance I would do.
Fat boy dance, and then I'm doing the home run swing to the salute.
Classy.
Yeah,
That doesn't scream like nasty penalty screaming crazy man to me.
It's like the double X, give it to you.
Yeah, that'd be more of what I'd expect. What would Chef Choate's celebration be?
Gosh. I don't miss Jeff Choate. I miss parts of Jeff Choate. I miss parts. I don't miss putting our best linebacker at quarterback. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're seeing a little.
By the way,
more
do you
clear.
think? I was thinking about this yesterday. I think Troy Anderson might be a better fullback than he is a linebacker.
Oh man, we could start talking about Troy Anderson if we want, but you know what? I want to get going to bed here soon, so
Just
Sure.
answer that.
sure, he probably would be a better fullback. I don't know, he's pretty big.
You think so?
I think he'd be a
Think so?
good fullback. I think he would.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he has the side to side like lateral quickness needed for either one of the positions. Honestly, he's a straight line thoroughbred.
Yeah.
And I watching him, he bites on stuff and he doesn't recover as quickly as you would expect in the NFL. There's my little take on Troy Anderson. What's that?
So, wow. Okay. All right.
Love the
Fair
guy.
enough.
Love watching him. I watch him too much. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I've never just stared at a linebacker the entire time like I do when I watch Troy Anderson. Maybe that's what they look like.
That's a good point.
It's like,
You're
when
like
else do I watch
hyper-focused.
a single player like every single second of a snap? I don't. I only do it when Troy Anderson's in the game. So maybe
sitting there
it's just
going-
normal linebacker stuff happening there.
You're representing Montana State. Don't F this up, Troy.
Yeah, I'm gonna stare at you. Oh, you took a one step to the left when you shouldn't have. Oh, Troy. Like no one else has ever done that. Anyway.
All right. That's a good time. All right, Thorny, take us out.
All right. Thanks to Gear Up Sports for being our sponsor for the year. Thanks to everyone for listening and submitting all the Golden Coolie questions. It's always fun to answer those. You can always find us on Twitter, RRCatcast. Find us on the web, rrcatcast.com. You can find us on Bobcat Nation, as you alluded to earlier, Foley. I'm Celtic Cat. You are Common Cat. Let's get out of here. Let's go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.